everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do some tag videos. I was trying to figure out a way that you guys could get to know me a little bit better and my family a little bit better, and I thought the best way to do that would be through some of these videos. So today I'm going to be filming a couple tag videos and I'm just going to post them kind of periodically. But the one I'm filming right now is going to be the mom tag video. I'm kind of excited to do this video. I thought there were some super good questions in here, so let's just get started. And I also want to say, if you hear some little barkings, little barks, I have Ghost in here with me, and London's having some quiet time, so I'm sure she'll make an appearance somewhere throughout this video. So let's just go ahead and get to the questions. So question 1, how old were you when you had your first child? I was 18 when I had London. I found out I was pregnant when I was 17, just after Christmas break, my senior year of high school. So a little bit of a surprise, but she turned out to be quite the little blessing. Number 2, what was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? The hardest part about being pregnant was in my first trimester, I dealt with a lot of shock. Being that I was 17, I was still in high school, I was in denial. Like my whole first trimester, it was really weird to me to realize that I was pregnant, and I didn't really want to accept it. So the hardest part about being pregnant for me was just accepting the fact that I was pregnant and I was going to be a mom. And I was also really, really sick on top of that. I had really bad morning sickness with her. Number 3, can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? Obviously the kicks and the just feeling everything, and watching my belly grow was really fun because it was my first pregnancy. So with both of my pregnancies, just watching my belly grow and then feeling all the kicks and stuff was really exciting. In your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? Well, I guess they were kind of spot on. Both of my labors were very, very different. London, I was induced a little bit early. I had pretty severe preeclampsia, and Lakin came naturally right on her due date. My water broke in the middle of the night. So, like, you know in the movies when, like, the girl's just, like, out grocery shopping and all of a sudden her water just breaks? That's pretty much how it was with Lakin when my water broke. It was very shocking. My water broke at 2:38 a.m. and I had Lakin at 4:38 a.m. So exactly 2 hours later she was born. I pretty much had her in the hallway as I was walking in to the hospital. So I guess it was kind of what I expected. Question 5, would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? With London, no, I wouldn't have redone it because for health reasons I had to be induced. I had my epidural. Those contractions while being induced were terrible. I didn't really have a birth plan with London because I was only 18. So I was just gonna go into it and play it by ear. But with Lakin, I was really dead set on having a natural water birth. But because everything happened so quickly, I never had a chance to get into the water. I mean, I pretty much walked in, the nurse was gonna go check me and she went, "Oh, you're 9 centimeters dilated. I need to get the doctor in here." And I pushed a couple times, like 2 or 3 times, and she was out. So I would redo it if I could, but what are you gonna do? Number 6, what would your advice be for someone who is about to have a baby? My advice would be to just know that everything's going to be okay. The first couple of weeks are hard, but you're adjusting. I think if you're adjusting to be a new mom, or you're adjusting from going from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, I mean, you're learning. So I would allow yourself to have some grace and allow yourself to learn, because that's all you can do. Number 7, what has been the hardest thing about being a mom? The hardest thing about being a mom is, see, that's so hard. It's such a difficult question because being a mom comes really naturally to me. I think God has a plan for everybody, and I think his plan for me was to be a mom. I think that's why he had me become a mom so young, is because I was really struggling at that time in my life trying to figure out what my purpose was. So, but the hardest thing about being a mom, I think, is the health issues. Specifically for London, she has IBD. She struggles with it daily, so I think watching her in pain and knowing that there's nothing I can do is kind of the hardest thing about being a mom. Number 8, what has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? Just the random, I love you, Mom. Or the hugs, the kisses, the giggles, all of the love stuff, I think, is the best part. Number 9, what is the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? Just how fun it is. I mean, I think that sounds kind of silly. Like, of course, being a mom is fun, but I think a lot of people give you the notation, especially when I was 17 and my family and friends were finding out I was pregnant. They were like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? Like, it's gonna be so hard. You're just gonna struggle for the rest of your life. And that's not true. You can be completely successful when being a young mom. Even my husband becoming a young dad, like, we're better off than a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds that I know. And I think it's just fun. Just being able to relive your childhood and do things with your kids that you enjoyed doing as a kid, I think, is the best part. So I think that's what surprised me most. Because going into it, I was very scared. But realizing how fun it was to watch them grow and learn and discover new things, I think, was what surprised me most. Number 10, what is the best memory you have involving your child? The best memory I have with London, hands down, is when Joe graduated basic training. I flew down to Georgia with London, and seeing her face, see Joe, was really, really exciting. Joe left when London was, I think, just around 4 months old, and she didn't see him again until she was 8 months old, I think, or 9 months old. I think it was 9 months. She was 9 months old, so she didn't see him at all for 5 months, and the instant correlation, she knew exactly who he was. She just lit up and smiled, and I think that is hands down my best memory with London. But my best memory with Lakin, I think, was one night Joe was gone for training. He had been gone for like 4 or 5 weeks, and he wasn't due to be back for another couple weeks. And Lakin was going through some sleep regression. She was about 4 months old. And so I'm by myself in the middle of the night, had been up every couple of hours. If you have kids, you know how it is. And I was thinking, I cannot do this. Like, this is so hard. I just need some sleep. I don't live anywhere near family, so it's just me. And you can't just clock out and take a break when you have 2 kids. And on top of that, London still wasn't sleeping through the night at that time, and she had just turned 2. And I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I physically cannot do this. And she just looked up at me and she smiled. And in that instant, I knew it was going to be okay. I was going to be fine. And I think that was the best moment for me with Lakin, because it's like she just knew what I needed at that moment. Number 11, what was the most exciting milestone? I think with London, every milestone was exciting because she was my first baby. So like rolling over was exciting, and crawling was exciting, and sitting up was exciting. But with Lakin, I think when she started crawling, that was the most exciting for me, because that was the first milestone me and Joe had both been together for, to watch one of our children hit successfully, because like I mentioned earlier, Joe was gone all of London's first year pretty much, so he didn't get to see any of her first, like he was in the field for her first steps, so he missed everything. So when he was home to watch Lakin crawl for the first time, that was really exciting, because that was something we got to share together. Number 12, what was the worst thing your child has ever done before? London is a brat. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, London is a very good child. She's very polite, she's very well mannered, but she does some dumb stuff. Like, she's so smart for her own good, it just drives me bonkers. But the worst thing London does is, on occasion, she's grown out of this, but when she was littler, she likes to finger paint with her poop. So that's the worst thing London's ever done. And the worst thing Lakin's ever done is, I don't know. See, it's hard because Lakin just turned 1, so she hasn't really hit the terrible 2s yet. So, I don't know. Lakin's pretty easy breezy. I don't think Lakin likes to throw things in the toilet. So that's fun. Like, she'll take the whole toilet paper roll and she'll like pull it all down so she has all the toilet paper in her hands, and then she'll throw it in the toilet. So that's the worst thing Lakin's ever done. Number 13. What habit did you wish your child didn't have? Lakin is a mama's girl. She cries at my feet constantly to be held and to be picked up. I think every child's needs are different, and London needs a wheelbarrow full of attention every day to feel satisfied, and Lakin needs 7.5 dump trucks of attention every single day to feel satisfied. So London talks constantly, and that drives me up a wall. Like, normally I don't mind, but you know, every once in a while we have those days where it's just like, London, please. Shh, shh, shh. You know? What habit of theirs makes you the most proud? Lakin's hard because she's so little, so I don't really think she has one, but London, every single day before Joe leaves for work, she goes, "You have a good day, Daddy. I love you, Daddy." And I think that's super, super cute. It just makes me happy that she can recognize that Joe's going to work. She wants him to have a good day. And then at the end of every night when we're sitting down at the table eating supper, she'll go, "You have a good day, Daddy?" So I think that's nice that she just kind of wants to check in and see how Daddy's day was. Do you share any similarities with your child, both physical and personality? For London, I think as she's getting older, she's looking more and more like me. Before she used to be a spitting image of Joe, but personality-wise, I think she's a lot like me. She's very self-sufficient. She doesn't really need anybody, nor does she really want anybody to help her most of the time. And she's kind of like me in that she doesn't need a lot of attention. She doesn't desire a lot of attention. She just kind of wants to be left alone. Lakin, however, looks nothing like me. Absolutely nothing. She is a spitting image of Joe when Joe was that age. It's ridiculous. And I think Lakin, I don't really know with Lakin because she is so little. Her personality is still really developing. But the thing I think me and Lakin hold similarly is that she is very, very happy. She's a very happy baby. And she wears her heart on her sleeve. She takes everything personally. I was like that as a child. Once having kids, I kind of grew out of that. But she definitely reminds me of me when I was younger. Just very open-hearted. Everything, I always call her my delicate flower. So I think me and her hold that similarly. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? Well, in 10 years, London will be 13 and Lakin will be 11. And I just hope at that time that they're happy, they're doing well in school, they have friends. I don't really like have these big time dreams for them. I want to stay open-minded to whatever they want to do. And I just hope that they're happy. I just hope that they're happy and on the path to success. 17. What is something that having a child has taught you? Grace. Hands down, the biggest thing having children has taught me is grace. I used to be very hard on myself, my worst critic. I mean, I did get pregnant at 17, so I grew up really, really quick, pretty much overnight. So there's a lot of things I have learned since having children, but the biggest one is grace, to allow myself a little bit of leeway. Every day is not going to be a good day, and that's okay. 18. Did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age that you became a mom? Short answer, no. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted to have kids somewhat young, not quite at 18, but my mom had kids young. It's just kind of something people do where I'm from. We're from a very small town, and everyone gets married young, has kids young. It's just kind of is the norm. I know that's not true everywhere, but not quite as young as what I did. Describe your child in a single sentence. London is, it's so hard. London is very creative and very driven. That would be my sentence. London's very creative and very driven, and I definitely can see her going places as an adult. And Lakin. Lakin is my delicate flower. I use that sentence day in and day out. She is just my delicate flower. And the last question, 20. How did you change as a person since becoming a mom? I made a complete 180 from becoming a mom because I did get pregnant so young. I was always that girl in high school that kind of ran with the kids that partied all the time, because from being from a small town there isn't really much to do, so everyone kind of parties and does their thing, and I had to stop that literally overnight. I grew up, I became a lot, I don't want to say I became a better person. I was always a good person. I just made dumb decisions, and I think I stopped making dumb decisions. I had someone else to think about other than myself, and I used to be very selfish, and I think now I'm very selfless. Everything is about my kids and my family, and I think overall I've just become the better, improved version of myself. So that's it. That was all 20 questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you can relate to any of these things, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!
Missing someone, how much you missing, and you listen, and you listen, and you listen. And you did it right from the start. And you did it right from the start. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone, missing someone is as normal. Missing someone, love with all your heart. Missing someone, love with heart. Missing someone.